Hi guys, welcome to Virtual CC Science Week 15. Today we're going to be in our Van Cleves book, experiment number 138, if moms want to follow along. We're going to be making rock bridges. Our purpose is to demonstrate how natural bridges stand. So our materials that we're going to use today is a whole stack of books, so go to your home library, find some books. You could also use Jenga blocks if you would like to use blocks instead, or you could play around with both and try two different ways. We're going to use two chairs that are going to be positioned about a foot apart, so 30 centimeters, about 12 inches apart. We're going to take our books. You're going to start by putting one book on each chair, and you're going to slowly build your books across until you have an arch of books that are making your natural bridge. Alright, so what I'm going to have you do in just a minute is hit pause. And when you hit pause, I want you to take your books, I want you to take your chairs, and try to create this rock bridge structure out of books. I want you to play around with some things. Think through the balance of the books. Think through your book size. Think through your book shape, their weight, the placement. I want you to think through if symmetry matters. Play around with your books and your structure to see what is going to be the most stable book structure you can make. Alright, as you played around with your books, I wonder if you felt gravity at work. One thing that I noticed when I was playing around with it, and I wonder if you noticed too, is that you can start to move one of your bricks, and you can move it a little bit further, and a little bit further, and a little bit further, but you're going to get to a point where you can't keep it stable anymore. So there's a center of gravity there. There's gravity at work, a center balance, where you can get to a certain spot before it's going to tip. There's also maybe a spot at which it might hold a single block, but if you try to put another block on, it won't work anymore. It's not going to hold or bear the weight of another block. And so that's one thing to keep in mind as you're working through your books and testing out to see how far they can go before they fall. How'd that go for you? Were you able to make a bridge? Were you able to complete the arch all the way across? I hope it went well for you. If you want to post a picture, you can go ahead and post a picture of your bridge, and we can compare how maybe different families came up with a different style of bridge. If you're having trouble, or just to point out, one help is that this bottom book should not extend past the edge of your chair. You want the bottom book to be fully centered on the chair. And then each book after that is going to gradually go out a little bit further and a little bit further till eventually your top book, if you notice, is not over either chair. It's completely suspended in between two chairs. So that should be your goal. The top is going to be completely past both edges of your chair. Now, I have a question. Why did this work? How did it go? Did you feel the gravity when you were playing with it? Did you feel the center of gravity, or the point at which your books no longer would balance and they would fall down? Was it frustrating? Was it easy? How did it go for you? I'm curious. One thing to note is that all objects behave as if their weight is located in one spot. This is called the object's center of gravity. The book bridge is supported because the center of gravity of each side of the bridge is over a chair. When we see natural bridges in nature, I don't know if you've ever had a chance to see some structures like that. We recently went on a hike called Elephant Rock Hike, and it's on Waze, and it had a similar feature to this. Maybe not quite as perfectly arched, but there was a big arch of rock that went out into the water like an elephant's trunk. If you have a chance to go on a hike, you might try to check it out here in Korea. It's about an hour and a half away. But if you notice, in nature, natural rock bridges are formed by weathering and erosion processes. These bridges balance because the particles making up the bridge overlap in such a way that places the center of gravity in the structure over the supporting sides. So this is just an example of how a rock bridge or other bridge formations might be made in nature. I think it's pretty cool how God has designed all things to work. All right, I hope you had fun playing around with your books and with your bridges today. Thanks.